Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Just gonna take a little moment for us to ground in and set some intentions for our time together. I actually am channeling this entire talk today, and we are going to experience some amazing, profound awarenesses and actual magic during our time together. So I really want everyone to sink in to your higher knowing. And I always remind people when they're jumping into any kind of sacred ceremony or experience to know, stay in your knowing, stay in your power, stay in trust in what is aligned for you, and you can release anything that isn't. This is not a place for us to have shoulds. There's no rules here. There's no, we are here to actually experience shift in a collective and not just, we get to do this on our own. We are all spiritual seekers and look through meditation and through our own experience and our own evolution to growing and expanding into our full capacity. And there's something to be said for being in a group container with a lot of powerful energy in the space from everyone who's going to be with us today. So, this is your opportunity to step into a new alignment, a new frequency, a new uh, tell your story with us. Actually, I would love to hear from you. If you have something that's going on for you right now that you're really excited about, put it in the chat. Let us hear about it. Let us hold space for your journey. And I also love it when people are in the midst of creating new things and stepping into new dynamics. So go ahead and put in something you want to intend to come into your life so we can actually witness that as real for you, because that is actually we're in this like beautiful time on earth where everyone is seriously starting to enjoy a collective direction, and that is what we are here for today, in addition to the insights that'll be channeled through this container. So I appreciate those of you who've joined us. We're going to start right at noon, so we've got 3 more minutes before we kick things off. And I want to just take a moment for us to try to witness into being whatever is many, anything that you are getting really, really hyped up about, anything that you're really tuned into right now. Let's bring it into full focus right now and let it be that it guides you into what you are exploring at this time, into the next domain, into the next version of yourself, okay? Because this is a transformational container, and everyone who is here is experiencing a higher frequency of uh, engagement in life as a result of being in this space and being held by the community and the guides that are all here. We have us, everyone bringing their guides in and their supports, and that is also part of the experience. Is you getting to be shape your life through all this gorgeous witnessing from higher realms and higher support, and your own true self coming into the picture more fully. That is ultimately the path that we're on, is stepping more and more fully into who we truly are. And that is what I expect for everyone who has stepped here into this circle. We are going to really, really have a profound moment of a time of awakening is coming in right now on Gaia, all the time, of course, but there's, moments of where more people are coming in to the equation. More people are starting to experience the shift. And we're at a pivot point in our timeline where things can change dramatically, where things can really expand into a really delicious and profound change. Okay. And we're all here to witness ourselves into the next domain, into the next becoming. So, having said all that, I would love it if you could just sink into your sweet space, sit in your chair, feel your sit bones in the chair, rest into what is coming through right now. And we will experience a lovely, lovely awakening moment amongst our community here. And I really, really appreciate you being present. I appreciate everything you're bringing in right now. And know that you are absolutely on time, on fire with what's coming in next. And it's going to be manifested fully. It's going to be manifested fully. It is a profound moment of shift, okay? And that's what Esme, my higher self, has brought in to the circle in terms of how we are going to roll during our time together. So if you will do me a favor, I would love it if those of you who are here to experience a live call, would you please put your location? Where is it that you are coming in from? And what is it that you are focusing on at this time? We would love to hear from you. And, maybe we can share and witness together in this lovely container that we have here. So go ahead and drop in the chat anything that is coming up for you, and I would love to hear from you. I will try to keep tabs on the chat as I go, and there will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end. So if you have something that's a little bit more involved, maybe we can address it at the end. And I'll try to integrate anything that comes up in the talk as well, if possible. So, having said all that, I am Sasa. I am, I really, really get excited about these kinds of experiences. We have everything at our fingertips. Everything that we want at our disposal. And I really, really think that when we do, I really think that when we do actually jump forward into the new domain that we are calling forward, we are ready to bring it in. So the moment you decide you want to come into something, you are ready for it. Okay. So don't worry about where you are at right now. Don't worry about what's the don't worry about the situations that are evolving in front of you. There's a lot going on globally and individually, and we are all playing with reality on some level. We are starting to understand our profound ability to shift the reality that we live in. And I know that when you start to experience a new chapter of what is coming in for you, you are going to know that you are in flow with life on a new level that is beyond what anyone can actually witness to you as real. It seems like some of the things that we want to step into are beyond our availability. They seem like they are too big or too maybe amorphous sometimes, right? You have things that you want to do that are actually too difficult in some way or too murky to actually put into a framework of achievement. So I want you to remember that you are very powerful, and I want to witness you in that power so that you can absorb anything you need in your environment to make life sweeter, kinder, gentler, more serene, more focused, more directed. Okay. So here's what I want you to know as we proceed down this conversation that we're going to have today is that I am here to support you in any way that you might feel aligned with. So come and see me in a session if you need some support. And I would love to explore the next chapter with you of what you are bringing in right now if you feel called to do that. And that I would love to invite you to go to my website if you are feeling called. I also have a lot of articles there about the new earth that you might like to explore. It's www.sasa.art, and that's spelled S-A-S-A. So sasa.art, .A-R-T. Okay. So I also experience the the new earth domain coming in through my life, and that is part of what brought me into this new terrain that I'm exploring with the clients that I have and the peacemakers that come into my world. We actually are enjoying a new dimensional reality in flow with Gaia's guidance and support. And that is important to everything that is coming in right now. No one is going to be left in the dirt behind, so to speak, in this expansion. We are all coming for the ride, okay? And that includes you. So we're going to have a great time in today's session. And I just want you to know that all of the content that I channel, it comes from my higher self, Esme, who is a healing guide on in the greater 5D and up. She also is awesome. I am awed that she is somehow connected to me, and I love receiving her wisdom. And of course, most of my content is actually received by me from Gaia. And I also have a beautiful guide in David Bowie, who is been in my life since January of 2020. And that's been a beautiful experience having him in the experience of sharing and witnessing people in my containers and holding space for the expansion of all those who are here and all those who are witnessed in any program that I have. So he's a very great ascended master who has really been wonderful to support everyone around my circle. He's telling me to say all this, by the way. So I appreciate having him here, and he's been fantastic to work with. So he will have some transmissions, I'm sure, within the content we have today, too. All right. So I want to just let you know up front that this will be primarily a teaching, and I want to invite you to lean into sticking around for what I have to share, because I am going to share some powerful wisdom with you in addition to sharing something that I'm going to be offering in the next few months. And I really would love for you to consider it and think about whether or not it's a match for you. So please, stick with us. There will be something special offered for anybody who sticks around to the end. I have a special treat to share with you, and I hope that you will get the opportunity to enjoy that too. And all of these things are going to be available until midnight Friday, midnight Pacific Standard Time on Friday. So you'll want to make sure you take advantage of all those things early if you can. All right. So this is going to be a big transmission. So hold on to your hat. We're going to have a lovely time sharing all the wisdom that I receive from Gaia about what we're talking about today, which is making the leap, stepping into a quantum reality. And again, for those of you just joining us, I'm Sasa, and I'm delighted that you're here. And I can't wait to share all this. The guys are being funny, all this hot gossip on the other side with you, so that you can actually step into whatever quantum leap you want to make at this time. So it is not just about having a quantum leap, it's about stepping into a quantum world where magic is every day, and we have so much profound power to shift and transform the world in addition to our own inner world. We are here to co-create a new earth. We are here to witness the new earth into existence. And that is the power that we all have, is to witness this place that is there to carry us and hold us in our true self expansion, to actually let us shine our light fully, because that is the domain where all of that magic really works. And that's what we want to create here, is a place where you can all land and have that support and have that golden light force with you to allow in all the new goodness that you are bringing in right now. Okay. So I just want to say up front, as we go into the the quest of shift that we're talking about, you want to recognize how whole and perfect you are right now. There is something to be said for recognizing your true power in life. There's a knowing that you are absolutely guided by your higher self at every moment. And that is true for everyone. So there's no one who's left out of the whole enchilada of the true self coming in. All of us have that power and the capacity to do that. And I want to say we do it right today. Today, let it happen today. Let it be today that you feel like your full entire essence has come fully into who you really are. And that has been my journey. Actually, Esme came into my life in 2020 and she said, I want to be here inside you. I am that perspective of all of me, of all lives, that true self expression that has manifested and in the higher planes, and I really want to be here too. So, can you expand into what I am bringing because I have a lot to bring into your life? So that sense of the higher self is really the truest self that we can expand into, and so I felt really called into that over the course of the last 5 years. And when we step fully into that, knowing that we can actually invite that self in, we have the power to transform everything around us. Okay. So that's the new dynamic is about creating from your core self, your true essence. We are stepping into a new dynamic, a quantum way of living. And within that new way, new opportunities arise. And we get to see and witness those opportunities and step into them more fully because we are aligned with our true essence. And, the thing is that uh, it is so much bigger than you can imagine, this ability to step into your true self. And I know that that might sound a little trite or just like something that people just say all the time, just be yourself, just be yourself. And and be authentic. I mean, being authentic is actually a power move for sure. So we actually have the power to step into that full self. We absolutely have the power to step into that full self. Um, and, exploring and unlocking the dimensions that come into being as a result of you knowing who you are is a powerful journey into the unknown. I think that's sometimes the reason we hesitate because there's a lot of things that seem to, uh, it's funny, the guides don't even want to acknowledge that there's anything in the way, right? We might perceive that there is something in the way. Um, but, there is this ability within us to absorb and release, to see something as real and let it go and notice what really is real. And your true essence is the only thing that's really real in the context of like being alive. you know, everyone is real, obviously, but you are the reality. You are the source of all that is good on earth. You and all the other creatures and living beings that are here too, obviously. Um, and there's more to you than you can perhaps believe. We have the I want to say source given, God, goddess given, uh, spirit given, uh, you know, uh, just decision at a higher level to become truly who we are. They want to say that it's a decision. And that's what I really want you to bring in right now is that choice to be true to yourself and let that be a guiding force in your life. Because ultimately, when we start exploring that true self in a real way, in a tangible way, nothing can get in our way. Everything starts to move around you. And the reality that you're in really is profoundly shifted. Okay? Okay. I want to check in really quick. If you can pop in the chat and let me know if you can hear me well, if everything's going well. I meant to check early, but let me know. So the thing is that right now, at this time in the evolution of the planet, we are stepping into the archetype of the magician, the creator who manifests with ease and flow, mapping out desires and making them real with alignment and divine timing. Okay. The magician is an archetype that I totally and profoundly I vibrate with because it has been the source of all my creative ability in life. And it's funny, there are a few ideas behind becoming the magician and stepping into the magician. And some of those concepts are really about how we direct ourselves toward healing. How do we decide to choose a powerful expression of ourselves that aligns all of reality to our cause, to our aim? And we have the power to do that. Obviously, we work with spirit. We know when to surrender to divine flow, which is a power move for sure. I will be talking about power moves along the way here. And when we step into that, knowing that we can bend the universe toward what our aim is, we get to find a new direction. We get to experience the glow that we have within us. And that is like we're trying to fan the embers into a flame, you know. We're trying to, I mean, really kind of on that level, not just fan the flames themselves, but fan these embers into fire to some extent. And, be the phoenix rising from the ashes. We really have the power to decide that's going to happen for us, okay? So there's a great energy behind the magician archetype. It's full of fire, as I said. And it accesses the 5D and up vibrational layers of reality to bring things into the form world, which makes it real and concrete. And what we're doing is bending reality with our focus, okay? And as I said, as I implied, I guess, the magician is the decider. The magician is about making a firm decision from your inner will, your will to move into the new, okay? And it isn't as people talk about willpower mostly. They think I have to push myself to do things. And the magician is more about direction and focus and bringing something in from a grounded knowing, from your true essence, okay? So don't go into willpower when you think about the magician. Think about the magician as the one with a strong will. So strong that everything can change around them, okay? My guys are saying I should check in with you all. I'm not seeing anyone in the chat, so uh, saying anything about whether you hear me or not. I assume everything's fine if you're still here. Okay, I wanted to check and make sure people were still here. Or see how many were here. So actually, you know, the magician is actually, my guys want to say that we adopt the attitude that we are able to move into anything we desire from where we sit. We are absolutely in our zone at the moment. You can call in the magician from wherever you stand at this moment, okay? Oh, there's the Q&A. Okay, great. The chat is disabled. Okay, thank you so much. I don't know that, and I didn't mean for it to be. That would explain it. Give me a moment, y'all. I appreciate that share. I don't know how to turn on the chat. It's not letting me do it. Well, goodness. So everyone, if you don't mind putting your questions in the Q&A instead of the chat, I don't know what is going on or why it's not letting me turn the chat on. Um, let's see here. I'm going to try one more thing. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Well, that's so strange. Um, it's not really giving me an option to turn it on. Let's try this. One more thing. Oh, here we go. Got it. It's turned on. Chat's turned on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Technology is so fun sometimes. Um, Now you can all put where you're located in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yes. Uh, that is why I need a community. We all need to do it together, and I appreciate you being there. Great, great, great. I thought it was awfully quiet. I was like, why is it so quiet? I assume y'all can hear me fine. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, P Forest. I appreciate it. Okay, now that that's settled, yeah, put in what you're deciding right now. Go ahead in the chat and say, this is what I want to decide for myself. This is what I'm stepping into, okay? And we will honor that and hold it as true. This is absolutely the space for us to actually be witnessed and be held. And I suspect Spirit didn't clue me into this little feature because it needed to wait until now for some reason. Maybe because we're all stepping into a new vibration in the space right now that is really about being witnessed in the power of our archetypal energy of the magician. Okay. So thank you all for your patience there. So, anyways, coming back to talking about um, the magician is really oriented towards our goals. You know, I know that there's sometimes in the spiritual sense we are worried about having a kind of a pushy goal oriented way of being, right? We don't want to force anything. We want to allow. We want to, and that is a magician move too. The allowing. It's just there's intense directed force behind the allowing in a way. It's like you make a real picture of what you want. Guides are actually making an adjustment to what I'm saying. You make a strong picture of what you want that is so compelling, so powerful, so purposed in nature. Interesting choice of words, that it directs reality toward what you need. And then the step of the magician in the end of the process of manifesting is, of course, allowing. So the magician knows all the steps of manifestation, all right? And the thing is that the magician actually is accessing source energy, okay? And as a magician, you know you are source incarnate. You are creating from the same channels as the universe, okay? So you actually find a new domain from the angle of your divinity that allows reality to change in your life. And when I talk about reality changing, I'm actually literally talking about physical reality changing. I have the experience of timeline shifts happen around me all the time. In fact, I literally had a story where a friend of mine I hadn't seen in 4 years, we sat down for drinks and she was talking for like 10, 15 minutes about how a family member had passed away. And they had, this friend had so much like turmoil dealing with that. And I feel like I recall her talking about the estate that she had to handle and all of that. And then in the middle of the conversation, we started talking about something else. And she says, yeah, I was on the phone with them last week. And she's starting to talk about how they're alive after this like period of time where we were talking about how hard it had been since her friend, I mean, not her friend, her family member had, how hard it had been for her to deal with her family member passing away. So it's really interesting how profound reality can be shifted, be shifted. Hi, Claude. Thanks for saying hi. Um, so I'm talking about maybe objects changing in some way or moving on their own. You know, we find uh, a way to explore reality through magic and miracles too. So I just I just want you to know that you're that powerful. And you may not consciously make these things happen. I think spirit actually works through us to check in with us and share magic with us all the time, okay? Um, and if you have some kind of miraculous thing coming into your life, I would love it if you'd be open to sharing it because that vulnerability can move mountains for other people. They witness these stories and then they want the story to happen to them, and it does. It's amazing how this works, okay? So, here's the thing. As a magician, you can make the decision to step into the fifth dimension. You can actually do that, and the universe will show up to meet you there. So you have the ability to choose being the magician, to choose being in that higher frequency of energy more and more and more and more and more, okay? And I will say that we do sometimes kind of travel between. We go from the 3D to the 5D, which can be like really hard on us sometimes. And as expanding humans, we often are trying really hard to move into new energies, and it feels frustrating to feel like a pendulum swing between the two. So I'm holding space for you to have less of that and more of the alignment of staying in the higher frequencies more and more and more. Okay. And I know from my experience that this is actually the process. You find your way into greater and greater wholeness all the time. And I mean experiencing that wholeness, right? Because we already are whole. But there are disruptions in our life that create that schism between our true self and our embodied self. And we get to enjoy the journey and enjoy the arrival as well, which is part of what the magician is all about is arrival, because we tend to get to notice the journey a lot and to feel like that's what defines us. And it's like a carrot on a stick, and we're always chasing it, and never feeling like we actually have the wherewithal to just stand in place and notice where we've arrived. So that is part of being fully embodied is actually noticing where you've arrived. Okay. So coming back to the topic of knowing yourself fully, okay, it's a journey of understanding the layers of reality as well, or in tandem with, rather, exploring who you are. So these two things happen simultaneously when you are developing at a certain level. You start to witness what's in reality, and I'm talking about higher frequency realities, and you learn about them and you explore them. And through that exploration, you learn new things that allow you to step more fully into who you are. And as you step more fully into who you are, too, you notice more frequencies and more information coming in. Okay. So I had this thought that the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, especially, is like if we're talking about being a magician, you know, their teachings, actually, the core theme of their teachings is knowing yourself, right? And that is the source of power that we have. And in the Golden Dawn system, self-knowledge isn't just psychological or philosophical, it's also deeply spiritual and alchemical. And we're talking about alchemy, really. This whole topic is about finding that spiritual gold within, taking the base metals of who we are and finding that spiritual gold. And the Golden Dawn teaches alchemy symbolically as a process of purifying and elevating the self into that spiritual gold, right? And that process begins with self-awareness. So sometimes I think the magicians of that era, not to say that people don't follow the Golden Dawn still, but I feel like you in that system, sometimes you have to do all kinds of rituals and understand some like pretty heady stuff to crack things open. But I think just knowing some core concepts and some tools is really supportive to helping that expansion along without having to know like the really, really tough stuff, and being witnessed in your unfolding by other powerful seekers and teachers that all can unlock powerful magic. You have it at your disposal to step into that new information and that new recognition that is going to bring you into alignment with your true self. So I'm going to take a moment here to check in with the chat and see what's bubbling up for everybody. So I love that you are all put, some of you have put some stuff in there that you are bringing into the light, things that you are manifesting. This is great. Keep it on, keep bringing it. This is awesome. And if you're feeling a little muddy right now, it's okay. This is all, as I believe you said, this is all actually flowing. This is all coming together. Okay. So I want to talk about the power of you. Okay. So I know that you have the power to step into the full expression of yourself. You definitely do. May not always seem that way, but you do. Okay. And I'm just holding that as true because it's important as in my role to do so. I don't want to gaslight anybody who's having a hard time. I want to witness you in your epic ability to transmute the heck out of anything that's right in front of you right now. All right. I just know that you have that in you and that source is here to make that real for you. All right. So I'm going to do my best to hold that energy in the understanding that we do have trials and things do get in our way sometimes, even though a lot of source energy wants to say maybe there's nothing in your way, right? So there are 5 ideas that allow you to step into the full expression of who you are. One of them is knowing the path ahead is going to meet you where you're at, not tomorrow, but today. Knowing that is really important. It is so profoundly, your directive force as a magician is so profoundly, you're all very awake, okay? This is what I'm receiving from my guides. All of you here watching, including those in the replay, are wildly awake. You're all stepping into a terrain of knowing who you are. That is absolutely what's going to happen, okay? If you don't feel that way right now, just know it's coming. It's absolutely coming. And it's happening right now. It's happening right this minute, okay? Or maybe in the next minute. And that's okay if it's in the next minute. Another idea behind stepping into your full expression is knowing that you're fully present for the journey. That is important. Just saying, I'm ready for this. I'm ready. Okay. Being ready is key. Then I talked about finding alignment with your higher self. Okay. And really adopting the attitude that your higher self wants to be with you now. And that is actually part of the 5D awakening process is embodying your true essence in your form body here and this time and earth. Okay. And one thing that, I do that's really helpful for me, really enjoying myself more in life and experiencing more of my true essence is to sit in what one of my teachers calls pure aura time. So just giving yourself time to sit in silence. It might look like a nap for you. For me, it can be a nap. Not everyone's a napper, but I kind of feel like it feels like energy around my body that's kind of cloudy or murky or condensed and creates tension and all kinds of stuff. And I just kind of let it float away. And I release the need to work, to think about anything, to plan, to strive. I let go of everything in that aura time. So I highly recommend stepping into that space at least once a day. Just if you want to lay down on your couch or your bed or sit somewhere in nature, that can be really helpful, or by a tree and let it just float off of you. That will start to invite more of you in because there's nothing creating all that discord in your energy body. So you can really receive that true essence that wants to come in. And then the biggest one, weirdly enough, is my guides are saying this is the biggest one. Is finding companions on the path. People who can witness you. And that might be a source of grief for people sometimes, I've noticed, because they're struggling to find people who understand. what they're experiencing. And you can find that community, okay? It will happen. Sometimes I've networked. I go to networking events, especially one. I have one that I love. It's a very heartfelt networking event, and I go there because I want to make connections with people. And I've made some beautiful, soulful connections at events. And I do that because I really want community. I think community is really important. And not everyone, I'm actually kind of an introverted person sometimes, and so I have to really step into my magician to go into an event. So I understand that sometimes that isn't the right answer for people, but exploring relationships is really profoundly important. Okay. And it will net some amazing results in your life. Even though it's not about the result, it is definitely going to shift you if you find those sacred, my guys are saying that we make sacred agreements in our higher self, knowing about who we're going to meet and how we're going to come together. So you don't have to worry too much about it. Just know it's coming. Just know it's coming. So yeah, so those are the 5 things that are about stepping into the full expression of you, okay? Knowing the path is going to meet you where you're at, being fully present for the journey, finding alignment with your higher self, pure aura time, and finding friends that can join you on the journey. Those are the 5 things. Now, I want to talk specifically about quantum leaps, okay? Because that is a key essence of what we're talking about today. Here's the thing, they can happen. And paradoxically, sometimes you go slow to go fast, okay? So allowing yourself to be really present in this present time moment is the pivot point for where the next thing comes in, okay? And small pivots can lead to a big evolution. They really, really can, okay? It might seem like it didn't matter very much, but if you look at the long view of a tale of expansion, you can remember little key moments where you made a new decision, where you stepped into something exciting. And it was a very big moment, but you didn't necessarily always notice it in the moment. And I think, a part of stepping into more of who we are is actually noticing those moments in the moment and recognizing that we just made a big leap. And I want to hold for you that possibility that all you need is a small idea that's going to change everything. In fact, the idea of making a decision that firmly was planted in my mind by another person, and Elizabeth Purvis, actually. And that created a whole new pathway for me. And it was just a webinar like this, actually. So Holden, that is true for you too, that maybe something came up today that will be a big pivot for you. It is possible, and I know it is real out there. So, okay. So here's the thing, everything is about following aligned action and trusting in sacred timing. Okay. So the quantum realm responds to you being true to yourself. That is the big thing. And when you're true to who you are, you navigate life differently. You navigate it more in flow. Maybe not differently for you, but you know, you start to find flow, a bigger relationship with flow than maybe the average person. And that is shifting, of course, on the planet. We are all starting to adapt to the idea of divine sacred timing. And that is a part of the path is sacred timing, okay? Now, I will say we get impatient, and that's okay too. If you're feeling impatient for something to work its way into your life, it's okay to be impatient. And your magician will move that energy. You'll free it up. You'll free it up. Give it a moment, okay? It will free up. And, you know, when we come back into alignment with who we really are, that is where the true essence of life emerges, okay? True essence of life comes in. And what wants to happen in that true life expansion in our lives, because it is a sense of like what's real. What's real is what allows us to be true to ourselves honestly. And that comes into our life to create epic transformation, to create new dynamic in our life, new way to witness reality as it stands into a new expression, okay? And this multi-dimensional connection is in the moment. It's in trusting your flow, trusting your bliss, or simply trusting the thing that gives you a moment of relief, okay? And I think it's important for us to lean into relief and lean into rest because we're not as, in our cultures, we're not as prone to doing that often. We have a habit of releasing the need to relax. And relaxation is actually where our power is. This is something I've learned over the last few years, especially. If I give myself that space to rest, everything starts to fall into alignment. So I can't state that enough. And sometimes the most relieving thing that we have at our disposal is to take a break and to not worry about things as much for a minute and to release the need to control. So it's a really interesting setup that we are trying to use our will, but we're not controlling. That's really interesting dynamic. And you feel into that the more you do it, okay? But yeah, I want to say that rest is a power move for making quantum leaps. It's not all go, go, go. And power move number 2 is to align to your free wills. Free will, it's funny, they're saying all your free wills. We all have free will on this planet. And to make decisions, to be the magician. And as I've said, when we make firm decisions, the universe lines things up to give us what we desire. And I want to say that you should try your best to not have one foot in, one foot out on what it is you're going after. That ambivalence can create a lot of static in our field. And you're creating a space where you don't have that static by being in your power and stepping into your power. And we almost don't even want to talk about the static, but we do witness it and love and allow it to shift. Okay. And I think that ambivalence can really hold us back from achieving what we dream in life. That I'm not sure what I want is hard sometimes. We may go through a period of not being certain. And sometimes you just have to choose one action, one little baby step, and that's all you need to move forward. So we want to make it big. We want to make it so big. Our dream is big. Our vision is big. And really, it comes down to a little tiny choice, a tiny step. It may even just be a choice, not a step. So hold it as this is a powerful witnessing here that all it takes is that little moment for that ambivalence to move on, to mosey on. Okay. I think that often we leave our decisions up to other people for us, and it gives others the right to give us the permission slip that we ought to give ourselves. Okay. So I want you to know that you are in charge of your permission slip. You are the creator of your own destiny. And making decisions, that is how you unlock the quantum realm, by making firm decisions. And again, it could be a small decision. It may not have to be a big one. Okay. Now, creating anything requires commitment. And that is the decision point, is I'm committed. I may not have the whole path mapped out. I don't know everything, but I'm committed to moving forward, to directing myself toward what I want. And this healing, this is a healing too. It heals these old 3D paradigms of not enough, to step into your permission and your decision to move forward. It trains your brain to know that you deserve everything, that you're ready to reflect on what was from a standpoint of knowing that you will evolve into what's new. So you might know that you had a hard journey, and that's not a problem to know that. It's okay to witness that it was tough. I think sometimes we gaslight people for believing that they have been a victim in life, and I'm not saying that you haven't. Sometimes that has happened to us. We can be victimized in our lives. And we can also choose a new direction. And it might be as simple as choosing not to have someone in our space that is victimizing us. That could be a thing that we choose. And we do it from alignment, from flow, right? Versus pushing against the problem. We allow ourselves to release things and move forward, okay? That I will say is a permission slip you can give yourself to let go of something as well. Um, but this whole vantage point of decision versus uh, just being in flow, right? Because this is a dynamic relationship between being in flow and making a choice, okay? All of this is how we move into bounteousness. This is how we get plenty in our lives. This is how we enjoy the utmost of life. And I don't mean just financially, but like time, resources, connection, expansiveness, freedom, play, all these things are part of that. And this is all fodder for the next power move that I want to share with you. Okay. I appreciate you being here. This has been a beautiful witnessing, and I am expecting that you will receive what you needed to receive today to help you explore what's coming for you. And now I'd like to share one exciting opportunity with you to join me in my program Quest, which is a journey of evolutionary expansion that is beyond anything that I am profoundly amazed and awed all the time by the content that comes in for this experience. I channel the whole thing, and we are going to have a wonderful adventure in this journey. And I would love it if you would say yes. I'm just going to say that up front now. I know that normally we would wait for that to come into the conversation. I have a feeling that if you're here, there's alignment and you would totally benefit from this experience, okay? So it is about quantum mastery, claiming your full self, stepping onto your sacred path, and owning your true power. That is what this is all about. And I hope you'll stick around for the rest of this because I do have something fun to offer you. And I want to say, we are in the midst of a growth opportunity on Gaia. Everyone who is in the awakened self is allowing new energy in to the planet. And I am totally on board with having this experience be not just about the individual, but the collective. And that doesn't just go for the community that we are building there, because that's a big part of it, but it's also for the world at large, okay? So, as I said, a quantum leap happens when you go slow to go fast sometimes. And I've experienced a lot of change in a year. It took me about a year to kind of totally unfurl my spiritual advising work and my channeling work. And it went fast. Year went really, really by really, really fast. Um, and I will say all the stuff that I've channeled, I channel it for my community, and it has changed my whole way of being. Everything is transformed because of these insights that have come through, that are coming through all the time from Gaia and my higher self and all the guides that support this work. And, it takes a little time to dig your teeth into the quantum world, I think, and start noticing the 5D as it begins to work magic in your life. And it also is going to happen now for all kinds of reasons, partly because you chose to take a breath and think about these concepts right now with me, okay? And it can keep going. There's so much more in store. So I've been downloading a bunch of, like, I want to call it 400 level information for my guides since my Kundalini awakening in 2020, and all about the quantum realm. Okay. And of course, as I've said, they've shown me miracle after miracle to demonstrate just how incredible the 5D world is. And we're not really just talking about the 5D, we're talking about like 7D, 9D, 12D. And these levels of reality are here now waiting to be explored. And here's the key to everything. Absolute key is stepping into your true self, right? And you may not know exactly what that looks like at this particular moment. You may have a whole ride ahead of you to find that fullness. And that is the most amazing experience to be on that quest for that arrival that you are going to know from witnessing the real world into being in your life, okay? I like to call it the new earth also. Um, and I'm not suggesting we're in a virtual reality simulation. That's not what's going on. But we do have the opportunity to explore what the world is meant to be, what Gaia intended all along, okay? Um, and I want to say just because you're here, there's all kinds of great reasons for that. And I will bet that you are having an awakening experience of some kind, even if it's a small one, so to speak, as if there's a small awakening experience. But, you know, I think I find that the majority of people who end up in my world are on some sort of awakening journey. And, awakenings can have awakening symptoms. All right. And, the world we live in kind of has a habit of putting us out of alignment all the time. And, you know, I especially like light workers, star seeds, healers, they're most susceptible to the energetic strain of the 3D world. We do tend to be very highly, it's like our receiving is so great. We have so much stirring up our energy all the time, okay? And I don't want to like witness the struggle as true. And I will say that sometimes when you're in an awakening, you might feel confused or muddy about what's going on in your life. You might have peace about that too. That is part of the process of being in the higher frequency is having peace about what seems like it's not that static in our lives, okay? You might also feel like you're constantly in a liminal space and you're not sure how to get out of it. You're like, I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge. What is up? Where am I going now? Um, and I've seen people get like really tired and feel unfocused in life, unsure of how to like get out of a cycle. And I just want to say you're not lazy. You're probably, I mean, people say this all the time about being in that stage of things, and you're just up leveling and integrating. You're not a lazy person. You're just trying to figure it all out right now. That is usually what's going on. Okay. Um, and then you may be just sensing into I'm just going to wait a second. Okay, great. Looked like it paused for a minute. You may be sensing into incredible things unfolding around you, but you're really not sure how to share that with people, and you may feel a little isolated because of it. And that happened to me when I had my awakening. I had a little bit of a transition period where I had to find a new kind of pathway with the relationships I had, new relationships, new communities, new places to go where I could share and talk about things. And this sort of container is one of those things. So I will say that all of these are symptoms of awakening. And with all this energetic shift, having a roadmap to walk the path can make all the difference. And I want to say that these symptoms are all a sign that you're ready to step into more, perhaps more than you've ever dreamed possible. Okay. And understanding what you're encountering and how to navigate the terrain is key to making the quantum leap. Absolutely. Because when we step into the new, we are coming into a time of wakefulness, is how my guys are putting it. We're coming into a time of the concept of awake, what that is. What does that look like? Okay. How do we enjoy being fully on and present and on fire, turned on, turned up? Okay. Turning on our light fully, really shining our light. And I found that, that understanding about what you're encountering can actually open the door to miracles like synchronicity on steroids, as I call it. You might have amplified intuitive abilities. You might see more animal signs and communication or really powerful manifestations. And I've shared some of them with you. One of my favorite ones is when I was on a walk with a friend. It's a longer story, but on the way back to her car after an hour and a half walk, an apple appeared in her pocket. And she said, "Where did this come from?" And my higher self Esme said, "You're welcome." So that is a funny thing that can happen as well. You might see timeline shifts too. You might feel like you are experiencing lots of quantum shifts in reality. You might sense into things just changed on some level and you just know it, okay? And there's all kinds of other phenomena that you might be noticing as well. I had a client say after a program that she noticed, she said a bunch of things, but one of them that was so fun to me, well, one was that she started being able to telepathically communicate with her dog more, and her dog couldn't hear. So she could tell her dog, give her dog commands telepathically, and it was really amazing to her. She also would like touch things and they were softer, like sensations were more refined. I've experienced that too, where my sense of taste has gotten way amplified. Food tastes amazing to me. And I've had my guides sometimes take that out for a second so I could see the difference. And I'm like, wow, that is a whole contrast. The texture is off. It's like they had a bad day in the kitchen. And then all of a sudden it was like the best food that they'd ever made at the restaurant I was at. So it's really amazing the stuff that can change. I had a client who told me that she had been on a discovery call with someone who was enamored with her and said, I read this article you wrote and I saw your picture and it's super aligned and I want to work with you. This is going to be amazing. And then after the call, emailed me immediately and said, I didn't write an article, but here it is. Someone read it. Someone found an article and got to see her on Zoom and the picture matched and everything. So it's pretty crazy the stories that I could tell. I could tell many, many, many stories. Um, I've actually had objects move from one location to another. I've had I'll give this a little break. Okay. I've actually had uh, objects change color or patterns change on my shoes actually. And I've experienced all kinds of wonderful like clothing changes. Like I had a sweater that had a really low cut collar and I didn't like it and I had to wear a camisole under it and I was trying on the camisole and it didn't look great and then I tried on another one and when I put the sweater back on over the camisole the collar had risen all the way up and was covering up the camisole this time. So I actually had guides that changed my sweater so I liked it better. It's really cool, the stuff that can happen. And I want to say, if you're already experiencing strange things and wondering why, I call these moments mic checks from the universe. It's like, is this thing on? Are you paying attention? We are here. We're ready to deliver miracles. Keep looking for them. So that is the reason. It's not to. Sometimes I think people feel like it's kind of freaky to have these things happen, and it's actually meant to be playful. Okay. But aside from these big miracles, there are also bigger miracles, I'd say, to understanding the terrain, like more serenity, greater peace in life, a greater sense of freedom, more creative expression, and walking tall in the world, knowing who you truly are. That is actually the biggest magic of all, is feeling that, knowing that you are really profoundly you, right? So these are all the sorts of things that we'll cover in Quest. It's my year-long program of quantum mastery, claiming your full self, and stepping onto your sacred path. And I want to share with you a little bit about what's included in the program so you know what to expect. So every week there's a master class that will be shared, and we'll dive deep on topics ranging from like quantum creation to embracing more of your intuitive gifts, to tools and techniques for stepping into the 5D new earth that is emerging at this time. And they're really wonderful. I can't tell you how much I love putting these together and sharing what comes through. They are totally received from Gaia. And that's why I can say that they're amazing because I just channel it and I am awed every time about what comes into the conversation and how powerful the revelation is. And I certainly have my perspective that I weave in sometimes, like when I teach classes on divination, because there is a class on specifically on divination, one on stepping into your intuition, working with your guides. So we have a lot of stuff. It's really practical too about how to expand your gifts. So those are delivered via email every week, and you also have access to them in a class portal. So you can always revisit them at any time. After the year is over, you will always have access to them. And then there are monthly live channel sessions. So we have one a month. I do a channeling session with Gaia, my higher self Esme, and all the masters and guides that'll join us on this journey. And this just takes the goodness to the next level. And it is always guided for whoever is in the container. So if you're present, you're going to receive a transmission meant for you. And you will also have the opportunity to share questions in the chat and get all your questions answered there. So the online community is one of my favorite parts of Quest. That's the next piece. And I think we really need connection now more than ever. And I think it's important to be witnessed on your journey and to witness others in the same transformational awareness as you are. So I think when we step into that powerful knowing of ourselves, we need people to share that experience too. It does change the whole trajectory. It really, really does. And it's a great place for you to be witnessed in your expansion and to share what you're creating and to witness others too in their shifts. It's really powerful when we get into that space. And the one thing that's fun about it is you have access to the whole container. So as long as it's in that container that I have right now, you will continue to have access to the community and Quest after you're done with the course material and after the year of channel sessions has completed, okay? So another thing that I'm offering in this group, which I love, are weekly activation audios. And I brought these together from my vast library of audios that I've created for, and I'm creating new ones too all the time for the group. So they're all tailored to the journey of Quest to help you integrate and step deeper in the quantum field to manifest the things that you desire, and also help you bring in more of your true self so you can do the things you want in life and expand in your creative power. So those are the kind of guideposts for those activation audios. And then I've got some bonuses for you. So these are just going to give you extra juice on your journey. I have a few that I will share with you that are special to this group if you want to step into this container in the next until Friday, midnight PST. There will be a couple more. So I'll share. Actually, I will now quickly just read off what's in the bonuses so that you know what you're getting. So there's the Ganesha Freedom Process. And these are master classes where we go into the methods I use inspired by the loving energy of Ganesha, remover of obstacles to release old programming and blocks and step into the quantum universe of infinite creative potential. So that's one gift that I'm offering. There's a class called the 5 Core Tenets of Mass Manifestation on a 5D Earth. And that's guided by the Akashic Record Keepers. It unpacks 5 transformative principles that help you co-create your desires with clarity, pleasure, and spiritual power. And then there's the Power Pendulum Guide. And these are all bonuses that anyone can get as long as the special is being offered, which will be for a couple of weeks. That teaches spirit-led entrepreneurs and really anyone who wants to how to use a pendulum for aligned decision making in business and everyday life so you can quickly move through indecision, clarify options, and take confident spirit guided action. And a client actually told me that this was a total game changer for her. So that's something that is well worth exploring. And for you, should you decide to join us in the next until Friday, I'm going to throw in a free 50-minute session with me. So you have to get access by Friday, okay? And I want you to know that if you come to a reading, you're going to get a transformation, okay? These are activations as well as spiritual advising sessions. So come ready for change. It will be amazing. Okay. So this is a really extra special gift and it's a high value and I'm just throwing it in for you if you decide to join us. And because you stuck around for the rest of it, for all of this juicy information, you can also get a free light language recording that I will channel from Gaia just for you. And it'll help you step into the next terrain with greater flow and ease. And I am so excited to do these. I love doing light language. And it will just I think it'll knock your socks off. And basically, what I'll do is read the light language and translate as I go. So you'll know what the transmission is about. And you can use it to meditate or do whatever expand. They're saying whatever your expansion process is, this will be a beautiful addition to that. And that is for those of you who are here and listening. I won't offer that anywhere else. So um, the there's the special until Friday for the free reading, and then this is just for you, the light language. So if you decide that you want to join, all you have to do is let me know that you were on the webinar, and I I won't know that unless you email me. So uh, there you can email me at sasa@sasa.art, and I'll pop that really quickly in the chat so that you can see where to email me at to let me know that you want the light language reading. Here we go. There's my email. So you can email me there. And then, again, if you are watching on the replay, just know that you have until Friday and end of day to get back to me about that. So I would love to drop in the chat for you here the link to go to check out Quest. It is, for those of you watching, it's a really easy URL to write down. So get your pen and paper handy. It is, and you can find it on my website. So sasa.art, sasa.art/quest. That's easy as pie. And it is in the menu of my website. So if you just want to write down or remember sasa.art, sasa.art, go there and you can find the page for Quest. And everything you need to know is on that page. There's definitely more to find out about the program. But this is really mostly what you need to know, honestly. If you're feeling like you're leaning in, then this is going to be great. You're going to love it. So if you don't feel like perusing the page, fine, just jump down and see what's available. So I just want to share that there are two options for enrollment. So option one is a year of Quest as I described it with the 4 bonuses. Plus, if you act by midnight Friday, PST, you'll get a free session, as I said. And for those of you listening, the light language recording. Option two is the fun option. In my view, my guys are like, this is the fun direction. Get 3 months of spiritual apprenticeship with me, 2 one-on-one calls a month with it's like a screaming deal. It's about half of what I normally charge right now. And you want to get in now is what I want to say there, because I'm being guided to change that price structure down the road. So, if you are interested in spiritual apprenticeship, come into this container where it's the most affordable and we can work together while you're going through your journey of Quest to expand into what's coming up for you. And on that one, I have an extra bonus, which is I'll throw in a copy of my popular Sovereign Oracle deck. So made it real juicy for you. So again, yes, Ida raised her hand. Can you share in the Q&A your question, or in the chat is fine too. I will look forward to seeing that. I will keep talking and I'll check in a minute. Okay, so if you have any other questions, if you don't get to them here in the chat, email me again at sasa@sasa.art, sasa@sasa.art. And I'm just going to stick around here for any questions that you have. And if your gut is telling you this is the right next step for you, then I hope you'll say yes, okay? And it's going to be a really profound year of transformation and powerful expansion into the miraculous and the magical. And we're going to have a great time together, and there's going to be lots of fun and surprises along the way, all right? And I really do hope you'll join me. So I really want to thank you all for spending this quality time with me. Sharing this journey with me has been really profoundly beautiful to witness this information with you. And yeah, let me know what your questions are. It can be about anything we talked about. It can be about Quest, whatever you have burning, just share it in the chat. Let me know. Okay. Is it every week? They are already available. But you do get a weekly email so that you can follow through at a steady pace. So they come through via email. And that library is growing over the next couple of months. So you'll have access to, I think, 10 or more audios already up front. So there's plenty to dive into, and it's going to grow over the next couple of months. So the full repository will be available shortly. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. And you can do it at your own pace too. I do like to suggest that people go in order because there is a build to the information, but you trust your gut. You'll know when you need to explore a specific topic, separate from the flow of what is going to be delivered. So, you know, that's the beauty of making it available now is that you can go in and explore what your soul is calling you to explore, any given topic. Well, great. So I'll repeat the URL for those of you on the replay. It's sasa.art/quest. And yeah, please do reach out to me via email if something comes up and you want to find out more and want to explore things. And my guides are suggesting that I say this. I know that the value of this program is actually triple. And in fact, this offer is almost a third of what I'm going to charge later. So you want to get in now because the price is at the best price it's going to be. It absolutely is going to be. And for one or two people who are in a very tight financial situation, I'm willing to do a scholarship, but it's got to be a real need. Okay. Don't just ask if you think you want a deal. Don't just, they're telling me to say that and just be upfront about that. However, if you really feel called to this and you know there's no way you can make it work, then definitely reach out to me and I will pick one or two people at most for that opportunity. And I won't pick a number here, so we'll dialogue about it, but I am called often to bring in everyone who needs to be there, however the situation works. So yeah, that is another thing that because you stayed, you now know about. And they always tell me what to say, so I listen. So, but do check out what's available. It is actually incredibly accessible for what it is. It's just a really beautiful course, and I really love the material that I got to witness as Gaia shared it through me, and I'm excited to share it with you. I'll check in really quickly with the chat. It looks like we're good. Thank you all for being here. If you have any questions, I'll give you just 10 more seconds. Just pop it in the chat. Let me know what's cooking for you. And if you have any questions or anything. And I'm just so grateful that you're all here. Thank you for being here and thank you for witnessing this time with me. And I really set the intention that what is coming through for you next is going to be profoundly powerful and you are going to direct your life in the ways that are most aligned for you. So this has just been just a gift to me to be here with you. And I really appreciate every one of you. And I'm going to say goodbye here. And I appreciate all of you who participated in the live session. Thank you for being here. It's an honor to share this space with you. And I want to witness you as profoundly awake and ready for everything. So much love to you all. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you around, okay? Bye, everybody.